Hi, how are you? I'm so happy to see you. So happy. As you know, in my last video, I talked about being woke up by something thumping me on my face. Well, this morning I got up and I crawled up here to my front seat and I was going to put my makeup on. I had to pee really bad, so I had to do it quick. I don't go anywhere without makeup for two reasons. One, I don't feel like I look good. It's a self-conscious kind of thing. And two, my face is red. I think I have rosacea, but I'm not sure. So my face, all my cheeks are red. And I can almost say that if they weren't red like that I would go out in public. But back to my topic. Maybe it's a topic, I don't know. So I called up here and I pin my hair back and I get my makeup bag and look in the mirror and I'm like, what is that? I right here am slightly black and blue. You can't see it now because of my makeup. And it's not really dark, it's real light. I mean, you could tell it's bruised for sure. Because I'm pulling my skin up and around and it has a light purplish line. This side doesn't have one, and I never have dark circles under my eyes. So I put my makeup on and you couldn't see it. So it's not that big of a deal. But I wonder if whatever was popping me in my face, this is just curiosity or just throwing it out there. Our souls do leave our bodies while our bodies are behind sleeping and resting. I do know for a fact that I go to war, a spiritual war, and I have a very cool gift. It's kind of not pleasant, but I like it, and I'll tell you that in a second. And I mentioned it in one of my videos also. So I wonder if my soul was at battle, and that was a part, the thumping in the face was a part of something that I felt as I was entering back in my body. Maybe something was punching me in the face, I don't know. It's just a thought, because I have not hit my face at any point, especially hard enough to cause a bruise. I will say that when I was doing a bow staff years ago, I had sunglasses on because it was really sunny like it is now, and I was spinning it. Don't know how, but it unbalanced and whacked me. I still have the knot. I think, yeah, it was that one, because I still have the knot. But I popped it really good, and I can't remember. I want to say it broke my sunglasses. I'm not sure. But the next day, I was black and blue and pink and all that right in here. But I went to the ER because I was curious to see if I cracked my skull. And they were like, is your curiosity worth that big doctor bill? I never thought of it like that. And then they said, there's nothing they can do for me anyway, because if it's a fracture, which I'm sure it was, if it was a fracture, what are they going to do? Put my head in a cast? So it didn't make sense. So I left, but I knew I really damaged it. It was pretty swollen, and I have a permanent knot there, which is weird. So I don't know. Just throwing that out there. I don't know. But I will restate one of my many gifts when I'm on the spiritual side. I will tell you from beginning to end what I know of. I was floating. My feet were not on the ground. And I'm communicating with a guy that was seated. He was seated. And I was talking to him. And I was swaying back and forth like that. And it was very comforting. And he was talking to me. I don't know what he was saying. And when I would sway back and forth, the sun or a light had to have been behind me. Because when I floated away from it and that light hit his eyes, they were beautiful. They were dark brown with white specks all in the brown. And I was admiring this. And maybe that's why I didn't hear what he was saying. And I was just swaying. And then I'd go back and look at his eyes and sway. And then whenever he finished, I said, you have really beautiful eyes. And then I kind of floated off, and in my peripheral, I seen him get up, like, oh, really? Kind of excitement. And I was proceeding on, and it was like I knew it was time. for me to go in that direction and do something. So I entered a room and I seen two big, I don't think they were humans at all because I don't remember their faces, but they were a very odd shape. I've never seen a human shaped this way, but they were big and round. And I mean big and round. And they had this girl. I don't remember if she was human or not, but I do know it was a girl, and I knew she was very small and petite. And she was crying as they were pulling her away. I entered the room and I was just, what do you call that? I was checking out the room and the situation and everything. And the guy with the brown eyes was behind me. And there were other protectors on each side of me, but they stayed behind me. And now I know why. I've always had blonde hair. In my other lives and soul-wise, when I become in a human form, I have blonde hair. I love my blonde hair, but in this life, I like experimenting. I glide in the room and assess the situation, and I'm still not on the ground. I'm hovering, and I let out this odd scream, and my mouth was enormous, and my hair stands out, like floating in every direction. It was like I was being electrocuted, you know what I mean? And the scream was so profound and different, never heard a scream like that, that it made those two beings let go of that girl. And I can't remember what happened, but I was guiding the vibrations from my scream where it wouldn't affect that girl. And I don't know how I was doing that, but I had my hands and I was screaming, my hair's out. It was, I didn't look like me. I don't know. My face was not humanoid, no longer. And it was, all I can say is, if you came in the room and looked at me, you know, I mean to hurt somebody. And I will do anything to protect an innocent. And they knew to stand behind me. And how, I don't know, maybe I protected that part behind me somehow. Maybe, mentally, I'm not sure. But the little girl was saved. She was a very gifted child. Or, I want to say she was a child because she was short and petite. She was very small. But there are small ETs all over the place that look humanoid, that could be small, but they're an adult. They're like hundreds of years old. That's all I remember. I remember screaming until that girl got away. She came toward us. I don't know who grabbed her. I want to say the brown-eyed guy. I don't know who the brown-eyed guy is. I think we just go to war together. But that's one of my gifts that I know I have. I have many. My mediumship and healing. I can expand my light enormously. It goes past Earth. It goes out into the universe. And it's funny because when I think about it, it's in my mind and I see it. And then it's like I internally hear it expand. It's got a vibrational sound to it. And then I get this imagery in my third eye of it just exploding around Earth and going out. And now that I'm talking about it, I can see it. And it's a bright white light. It's a purity of light. Sometimes I'll put gold around it, and it's so important to me. I love the gifts that I have. And I am proud to have these gifts, but not proud in a bad way. I know that what I have does good in every aspect. So I'm very thankful for the things, I shouldn't even call them things, the God-given gifts that I have. God blesses us with specific gifts, and some of us have the same, some of us have different. I want to say this. You have gifts. I don't know what they are, but I do know you have gifts. I think when you sit down and meditate, it might not happen on the first meditation, but if you start practicing to meditate, if you haven't already, and you drop down and you just know that you're so relaxed, you should set an intention of what are my gifts. And when you're down in that depth of meditation and you feel like you're at peace, that answer should come to you. In my beginning of meditation, I was never set an intention. I just wanted to practice first to drop as deep as I could. And I was outside, and at this time I got and knew that I could drop, and I do that fast. Always have. I would drop where I'm just like, duh. And sometimes my jaw, I'm so relaxed and in it that my jaw will open like I'm sleeping. And sometimes I don't realize it, but I had done that one day. And this voice enters my head that it wasn't mine. And it said, who was I before this lifetime? And then in my head, I'm like, who is that? That's not me. Who is that? And then in my third eye appeared an angel with white hair, or blonde, I should say, in silver armor with gold outlines on the armor. And I want to say I had a sword. It was a big, big, heavy sword. And I was up there in my third eye, just floating. And I remember after seeing that, I opened my eyes like, what the hell? Who was that? But over time, you know, I started piecing things together and realizing, oh my gosh, that's me. When I was younger, and I mentioned that a couple of times in my videos, I used to say all the time, I want to help the people. And I know I do. Sometimes I have this imagery of being in an auditorium full of people, young and old, and I'm on the stage and I'm throwing energy out to them and just manipulating it and sending out my energy to engulf the people in front of me, and I'm healing them. How? I don't know, but I know in my head that's what I'm doing. I'm throwing that out there. And I do that in my meditation too. I will ask entities, if you want a healing, come forth or come to me, one or the other. And I even mentioned that, how they float to me and they're just a light body and they're spread out like that. I won't go in that detail again. I think I mentioned that part a few times in my videos. So this video, I don't know how I got on that topic. Before I turned on my phone, I was like, what do I talk about? But I know the bruise is what was on my mind. I hope you guys find your gifts. They were given to us for a reason. Some of us aren't meant to know, but we use them not knowing. Some of us are triggered by somebody like me walks by and I would ignite your vibration. I would like, it's time, bam. Or you walk by me and my vibrations are helping your vibrations. They're adjusting them. That's odd that I said that. I think that was channeled. I adjust people's vibration. When I walk by, their vibration is light also. And if there is a miscalculation or it's off a little, this is all channeled right now. I walk by and somehow my vibration and or light connects with theirs and fixes their vibration and light. It's like there's a hole in there or something from trauma, something negative that happened in their life, and I walk by and I heal that. They won't know it, but I'll heal that. And that trauma that they suffered and the thought about it often becomes less and less of a thought because of that. I did not know I did that until I just told you. That's unique. I have found that I get where I channel quite a bit now, and I have to give thanks for it because I am very thankful. Okay guys, I'm going to end this now. I hope you're doing well and I love you tremendously. If you were in front of me right now, I would hug you very tightly. I'm sending you all love, light, and peace. Bye.